Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. You know, at this point, everyone knows how I feel about Gabby. And you know what? when I am within 100% agreement with Gabby, you know something's wrong. Okay? So Gabby's unpacking, Abigail comes in, and Abigail's like, so, we still gonna do this thing, right? We still gonna get, Gwen, right? Honestly, tell you the truth, me and both Gabby looked at her like, yo, are you serious? Gabby's like, no. No, I'm not doing it. I don't care. I don't care how much you sit there and try to throw Jake in my face about trying to, help me get back Jake. I'm not doing it. And then on top of that, she literally tells her, like, yo, listen, revenge is going to do more damage to you than to the person in the end, pretty much. Like, she pretty much shares her experience. And she also lets her know, like, listen, it doesn't just affect, you know what I'm saying? Like, it affects, it affected, Ari. And she was like, you know what, for your sake, for your children's sake, don't do that. Don't lose everything that you had. And I'm sitting there thinking, the minute she walked up to Gabby's room talking about revenge, I was like, I'm pretty sure you just had a conversation with your husband. The one that don't really too much agree on with about things. And you literally told him, yeah, I'm just going to drop this on Vendetta. And then you run upstairs to try to recruit Gabby again. I'm like, yo, this chick. What the hell? But, I don't know if she actually convinced her, to be honest. I like to think that she did, but I don't know if she actually convinced her to drop this whole vendetta. Now, she came downstairs to talk to Chad, and she saw, Jake talking or whatever, being friendly and stuff. And you know what? Here's the thing. This has actually surprised me, but this was actually the one thing. Well, this was my favorite part of the episode. Was the fact that Jake and Chad were getting along. Chad, listen, I've said over and over again about what I think of Chad. But Chad was pretty much riding for Kate, Listen, don't hurt her. Make sure this whole thing is real because, Gabby's upstairs and she wants you back and I'm not going to sit there and see her get hurt. And I'm like, well, I guess this guy does actually have his, moments every once in a while. Took long enough, but you know what? To be fair, maybe he had them before I started watching the show. Okay? I don't know. Maybe I just caught this guy at a bad time. A lot of bad times, but it seems like I caught him at a lot of bad times. But, yeah, he was riding for Kate. He was making sure that she's going to be okay, because, she's pretty much been a second mother to him. Of course, Jake reassures him that, what they have is real. And, he's going to treat her with respect and all that good stuff. But yeah, I was just really surprised. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not going to lie. When I watched them interact, not being so much Haiti or whatever, it made me think about this show called One Tree Hill. With Nathan and Lucas, they started off really just despising each other. But then towards the end, like towards the middle, towards the end, they were the best of brothers. So it should be really interesting if Jake and Chad get to that point. Hell, even when Abigail came down, she was like, y'all not fighting, like, what was good? So yeah, even she was surprised. Anyway, they talk about their couples counseling thing that they're going to be doing the next day. And also the fact that, she, quote unquote, she dropped her, her revenge. She talked to, Gabby and, she realized it was the wrong thing. I was like, no. You didn't realize that. Gabby helped you realize that, okay? I may not give her much, I may not like her a lot, well, most of the time, but Listen, in this episode, Gabby had a good point, and I gotta give her props for that. Anyway, she was all like, "Oh, I realized the error of my ways, and we're gonna rebuild our relationship." I'm like, okay. I have a really bad feeling that she is not dropping this whole revenge thing. And part of me can't blame her because of what Gwen did. And I was going hard on Gwen. Okay, that didn't change. But with that being said, she did a lot of damage towards Abigail. So I understand her reluctance on not dropping this vendetta. But I guess what it really comes down to is it worth losing her family? I guess we're gonna find out. Now let's talk about Kate and Rome. Been out of the loop of the show, well, forever. So I don't really fully understand their relationship, you know. But pretty much he makes a play for Kate. He pretty much says that, he pretty much sits there and says that Jake isn't good enough for Kate, and like I am. And I don't know why they had a falling out, why they're not together, whatever. But he pretty much makes a play for her, and she turns him down. So they're saying that what her and Jake have is real, and a lot of people don't understand it, but they do. And I get it from Jake's point of view. I've been with older women before, so I understand that, and I understand, the judgmental, like people being judgmental about it and everything like that. Like I get it, and you constantly have to sit there, sometimes try to defend your relationship, which is just obnoxious at best and just irritating at worst. So I understand their dynamic. But yeah, she pretty much is like, yo, listen, I'm riding with Jake. Like, he has my back. He had my back for a while on a lot of the stuff that's going on, so we're good. Like, we're not, And by the way, I should point out that right before she finished her sentence towards the end, well, they had a special report. I don't know what it was about, but I tried to watch it on YouTube, and it gave me that exact same thing. So I have no idea what happened towards the end. So if anyone can fill in the blanks or let me know, I would greatly appreciate that. Now we're going to get to some of the weaker points of this episode. Well, towards the end. We gotta talk about Claire and Gwen. Gwen sees Claire and she's all happy and everything like that, and Claire sees her and she's like, yo, we not cool. Like, after what you did to, Abigail, saying that she is like a distant cousin or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, Gwen did make me laugh. Gwen was like, is this whole town related or something like that to each other? Like, what is going on? And it was funny because every time I watch this show, I find out somebody's related to somebody else. Like, Brady's related to a lot of damn people. I can't even sit there and keep track. But Brady is related to Ciara, and their grandfather is both Victor, and Claire is sort of related to Ciara through Victor. So yeah, when she was like, is this whole damn town related to each other, I'm like, yeah, I'm confused about that too. Anyway, they get into a bit of an argument, and then Claire kind of realizes that, she's not exactly in a position to judge about the crap that she did when, Claire did her own, stuff. So, she's like, what, listen, I'm not going to pass judgment, and we're still cool. So Gwen has one friend in town, so that's something. Listen, I do not feel bad for Gwen as far as the predicament that she put herself in, because, well, she put herself in that predicament with her whole revenge scheme thing, and I'm just not there thinking, well, what was her end game? You know, was she planning on going back to, I don't know where she came from, the UK somewhere? Like, what was her plan? You know, she was going to cause all this havoc and everything and blow up everyone's lives apart, and then what? You're just going to stay and just sit in the town sitting pretty? Like, what? um, anyway, she has one friend in town, so that's cool, I guess. Julie and Doug talk for a little bit. And this is why I'm getting to the weaker part of this episode. Pretty much all they did was catch people up on what's been going on. And, you know, Julie just kind of, you know, like, she's not happy with Gwen. She's not, because Gwen was really nasty to her. You know, Doug was like, well, Jack thinks that, you know, it was an accident. So they go back and forth. And Doug just kind of reminds Julie of the good stuff that they have going in their lives. You know, Ciara being alive, the twins being found. You know, let's not dwell on the negativity, the darkness, you know. And that's pretty much was their whole scene, more or less. And of course, they got to talk to Jennifer. Now, Jennifer and Jack also talked for a little bit. Pretty much just, again, kind of replaying the stuff that happened, you know. Jack tells Jennifer that what Abigail did to Gwen. And at first, Jennifer doesn't believe it. But then, you know, Gabby's name gets thrown in there. And then she's being understanding towards it. And at one point, Jack is like, so you justifying it? Like, you cool with Abigail trying to, you know, kidnap Gwen? Now, to be fair, I mean, she had it coming. Alright? She had it coming. And, listen, if she stuck her with that needle, I wouldn't have felt bad for her at all. But, you know, the more of their whole conversation is that Jack is caught up in the middle of this, you know. He sides with one door, he's going to lose the other. He sides with the other, and, you know, that's pretty much what it comes down to. So, you know, Jennifer's like, you know, try to get some sleep and try not to really think about it too much, like, just get some rest. I'm like, how is this man going to get any rest when he has both of his daughters going at it with each other, and he has to sit there and try to not play favors? And to be fair, I mean, come on, how could he not sit there and play favors? He raised Abigail his whole life, practically, I'm assuming, for the most part. You know, listen, he may have some newfound love for Gwen and feel sorry for her, but, like, when it really comes down to it, you know, they say as a parent that you're not supposed to pick favors, but, I mean, I feel like that's just somewhat of a lie. Because it sounds bad, okay? But, at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure Abigail is his favorite. At the very least, by default. But, Julie talks to Jennifer. I don't know what's going on with this actress Jennifer. Is she staying? Is she leaving? People have said that she's leaving. And I'm just wondering when. I don't want her to leave, because honestly, to tell you the truth, I find her to be a very good Jennifer after the other one. And I'm just like, who are we going to get for a replacement? Because if she doesn't have that same energy as Jack, we're going to have an issue. Okay? We're going to have an issue. Just because I was being somewhat of a fan of this show, and when the other Jennifer left, I was like, oh man, are we going to have somebody that's going to match his energy? And she does it perfectly. So, I guess we'll just wait and see. Now, the last scene that I want to talk about, which is probably the weakest part of this episode, is the Lonnie and Paulette, Paul something. Pretty much this whole time, Lonnie is sitting there trying to tell Paulina, or Paulette, I'm going to call her Paulette, that, she's not going to be the the godmother of one of the twins. But of course, throughout this entire episode, she does not get a word in. And to be fair, I feel like she's just trying to be gentle about it. He's trying to let her down by saying that, you know, Julie's going to be the godmother of one of the twins. But she doesn't really get a chance to do that, and Paulette just goes on and on and on and on and on. And that's literally what she does throughout this entire episode. And more of the story is that she does not get to tell Paulina, or Paulette, that, She's not going to be the godmother. And this christening is happening tomorrow, and she leaves, and Lonnie's just like, doop, 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 doop. I'm like, Lonnie, you could have tried a little bit more harder, okay? What do you think's going to wind up happening when the christening gets started? If you couldn't tell her then, when you were by yourself, what do you think is going to happen when you have to sit there and try to tell her in a room full of people? How do you think that's gonna go? I mean, was this scene actually, like, did anyone actually like this scene? Because I just kind of looked at it like this was a bad, like, SNL sketch that just went nowhere. And I honestly tell you the truth, I felt like this just seemed like a complete and utter waste of time because nothing came from it. Nothing. I can't think of one thing that actually happened that changed the course of their story. Paulina or Paulette still doesn't know that she's not the godmother. Lonnie, for some odd reason, couldn't be bothered to actually just put on the big girl pants and tell her, so it didn't really go anywhere. Let's just double check, make sure I got everything out the way. Yeah, more or less, I think I got everything covered. If I missed anything, let me know. Oh yeah, they also talk about Xander and the whole Sarah thing. About the non-wedding. I feel like I'm missing something. I said that in the last review. I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. But if I am, please write it down in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are about this episode. I will see everyone in the next video. Thank you for watching.